Hello YouTube, welcome to another League of Legends guide. Today we're going to cover AD carry Twitch.
What doesn't kill you just isn't finished yet.
For more of my content, you can find me on Facebook at facebook.com/egamingtv or on Twitter at egaming_TV. All of the links for my social medias and the timestamps for this guide will be down in the video description, so make sure you check that out. I do Riot Point giveaways at the end of every month on my Twitter, as well as a poll each night on which champion I should cover the next day. So, if you're interested in entering those Riot Point giveaways, or you want to vote on which champion guide should be next, make sure you head over to Twitter. Enough of that, time for some pros and cons. Twitch is an AD carry with rather high burst damage, and he can assassinate squishies once he does have some items and some points in his E ability. His ambush is great for escaping and engaging, and it can really catch your opponent off guard. He's then one of the best scaling AD carries in the entire game, and gets stronger as the game progresses. His ultimate, which is now renamed Spray and Pray, is insanely strong and can really shred through an entire team. Now, although he does have all those pros, he still has a bunch of cons, the first one being his mediocre lane phase. Usually he's going to be perfectly fine at CSing, and he does have some decent burst damage as previously mentioned, but it's not like he's something like a Caitlyn, it's not like he can completely control the lane. He then also has no gap creator. His Q can be decent as long as he can get off that camouflage, but he doesn't have anything like an arcane shift or something for escaping ganks. This of course also means he does require some solid positioning, but at least you do have your ambush to make this happen. All in all, he does have his downsides like every other champion, but he's easily a tier 1 or even god tier AD carry at the moment. For our masteries, we go 18 ferocity and 12 cunning, grabbing Fervor of Battle as our keystone mastery. Even though Fervor's not as strong as it once was, Twitch is a champion that gets a lot of attack speed early on, and he does make great use of it. Since we are an AD carry that goes for quick assassinations, all of our attack speed as well as Fervor of Battle, when combined with our contamination, can easily delete that target. If you're looking for increased sustain instead, then of course you could go for Warlords, but that's not something I take too often myself. For my runes, I go attack damage reds, armor yellows, magic resist blues, and attack speed quints. If you're in a very easy lane, then you could go for attack speed blues as well, but generally I just stick with the magic resist. This rune setup's great because last hitting will be really easy with the attack speed and attack damage, yet you'll be somewhat tanky with all that armor and magic resist. I don't take lethality on Twitch because I don't go for the Yumu's Ghostblade anymore, since it has been nerfed. For your first summoner spell, you'll want to pick up Flash. It's required on Twitch because it will allow you to get kills running away from you, it can be used to escape death, and of course you're going to be able to make those really flashy plays. Its greatest strength will be in teamfights because if you can get into a very solid position, you can delete the whole enemy team with Spray and Pray. Now for your second summoner spell, you're going to want to take heal. The active heal is amazing for bot lane because it can save you or even your lane partner. The movement speed you get when activated can also help save your life, or you can use it offensively to help chase down an enemy champion. Now let's move on to those abilities, starting with your passive, Deadly Venom. Twitch's basic attacks each apply a stack of Deadly Venom, dealing between 2 and 6 true damage every second over 6 seconds and stacking up to 6 times for a maximum of between 72 and 216 true damage over the duration. So this of course is great because it does deal a little bit of extra true damage, but the main strength is when you use your E ability. We will be talking about that when we get to the actual E page. Whenever you're fighting, try to stack this up to 6 times for that maximum damage. Now let's move on to your Q, Ambush. Twitch enters camouflage for a duration after 1 second, gaining 10% bonus movement speed while stealthed and gaining bonus attack speed for 5 seconds upon leaving. Ambush's cooldown is reset if an enemy dies while affected by Deadly Venom, and entering stealth cancels Twitch's current basic attack. Ambush's bonus movement speed is increased to 30% while near enemy champions who cannot actually see you. So as previously mentioned, this is a great way to engage or disengage. This camouflage is a great way to sneak onto an enemy champion so you can burst them, and that bonus movement speed will help you get to that target. Of course, the same kind of goes for running away. Make sure you pop this, and if somebody is near you but they can't actually see you, you get a bunch of movement speed to run away. In a team fight, you'll want to make sure you get into a good position with this ability since they won't be able to see you, and when you leave you will get a lot more attack speed so you can get through that enemy team. Now let's move on to your W, Venom Cask. Twitch hurls a cask of venom at the target area, infecting all enemies with 1 stack of deadly venom. The target area becomes contaminated for 3 seconds, slowing all enemies inside and applying 1 stack of deadly venom each second. This ability is pretty solid in lane because if you can get 1 auto attack off, then use this and another auto attack that will have 3 stacks, and then you can use your E ability to proc all that damage. Since this also provides a slow, it's great when comboed on CCs, and when you are going for an assassination on a squishy target, make sure you open with this to get off this slow, and then go for some damage. Now for your E ability, Contaminate. Twitch damages all nearby enemies afflicted by deadly venom, dealing physical damage increased by each of their stacks. So this is the ability based on the stacks from your passive. You get 1 stack every time you land an auto attack, and you also gain 1 whenever you do land your W, and 1 if they do sit in your W. You pretty much want to use this as an execute, and wait until the enemy has 6 stacks of your passive, so this does the maximum amount of damage, which does have an 150% bonus AD ratio. Pretty damn huge. This is the ability we max first because it does have the best burst and trading potential, but don't spam it too much in lane, it does have a rather high mana cost. Alright, now that renamed ultimate, Spray and Pray. Twitch gains between 20 and 40 AD, and bonus attack range for 5 seconds. Additionally, Twitch's basic attacks travel across their full range and skewer every enemy they pass through for the duration, dealing 20% less damage per enemy hit, down to a minimum of 40% damage. These attacks apply on-hit effects to all affected enemies and can critically strike against each individual target. So this is awesome, you get bonus AD and 850 range which hits multiple targets. Jesus. It will of course apply your passive onto everybody hit, so if you hit the whole enemy team and they get 6 stacks, your E will be absolutely ridiculous. You'll of course want to use this in teamfights to hit multiple enemies and have increased range, but if you are going for quick 1v1 assassinations as well, you may as well activate it for that bonus AD. It's an absolutely amazing ultimate, and it's one of the main reasons Twitch is one of the best teamfighting AD carries out there. For our skill order, you want to put a point into your ultimate whenever you can at 6, 11, and 16. Then you focus on maxing your E next because it's really good if you are going for assassinations, and it's great for trading. Then focus on maxing your Q for its increased camouflage duration and your bonus attack speed. You'll want to save your W for last because the only thing that really changes is the slow percentage, not that big of a deal. If you're in an easy matchup, then you may want to take your E at level 1 instead of your W, just because you will be able to basic attack that target more often, and then activate your E at level 1 for more damage. Now I'm going to cover a few tips I have for playing Twitch. The first thing you'll want to know is placing a ward when you are in camouflage will not end your camouflage. Next, you're going to want to use your W ability to scout brushes, it does provide vision. Using your W ability and your E ability between your auto attacks will make you more efficient in teamfights. Randomly using them may stop your auto attacks. You can even recall when you are in camouflage if you do start your ambush, but you start recalling before the camouflage actually kicks in. When you're ahead in the bot lane, look to roam. You do have very solid ganks, and there is a reason Twitch is a pretty decent jungler. Finally, if you are behind, don't tilt, just play safe. Twitch scales very well into the late game, and as long as you can make it there, you can take out a whole team with your ultimate. Now let's look at some support synergies, and we're going to start with Bard. Bard is great because he does offer Twitch some extra mobility with his magical journey, and he can also add some extra sustain with his Caretaker's Shrine. His Tempered Fate and Cosmic Binding then add some great engage and disengage and combo really well with Twitch's kit. Next is Nami, and she offers Twitch some much needed peel with her Aqua Prison and Tidal Wave, which is great because you have no gap creator. Ebb and Flow will help keep you sustained throughout that lane phase, and if you are trying to chase an enemy, Tidal Wave can help you get to that target. Thresh then brings a lot of crowd control, which can help you get off a good spray and pray. He can then help peel with his Death Sentence and Flay, which is also great for Twitch. If you then get caught in a really bad position, he of course can pull you out with Dark Passage. He's an all-around great pick. Let's look at 3 more, and first up we got Janna. Her entire kit gives you a lot of peeling and disengage, which allows you to either chase or kite. The shield from Eye of the Storm strengthens your lane phase by quite a bit as well. I think it's safe to say that she's probably the best defensive pick out there. But of course we've also got Alistar, another champion that works great with Twitch. He can easily peel for you with Pulverize, and he can even knock back that target into you for you to burst them with his Headbutt. He's then also able to sit in the front line for a long time during team fights, and you're going to be able to stay on that back line and delete them with Spray and Pray. Last up is Leona, and she's probably the best all-around offensive pick out there for Twitch. She has a very strong stun combo and is really hard to bring down with her built-in tanky stats and, of course, Courage of the Colossus Mastery Keystone. Drop your Venom Cask on the enemy when she stuns them, and then fire away. Twitch's early game is pretty mediocre, which can give you a rather rough lane phase. He can trade pretty well, but his total damage is somewhat low until he does have some items and a bunch of points in his Contaminate. You are able to CS rather easily though, and as soon as you get your BF Sword and a Runaan's Hurricane, you get a pretty damn big power spike. If you end up seeing a kill opportunity, start by going into camo with your ambush, then move into the enemy champion and hit them with an auto attack. Then, quickly follow that up with a venom cask. Save your contaminate as an execute since it does do more damage based on your stacks of your passive. Using your spray and pray will add more damage and have a longer range, so if you do have it, it's a great thing to activate. You'll want to start a team fight when you're in camo and in a safe position. You can use your ambush to get you into a great position, and the attack speed when you pop out is really solid. Make sure you activate your spray and pray at the start to try to hit multiple enemies if it is possible. Try to save your contaminate until the enemies have 6 stacks of your passive, but of course if they're going to die with less, then activate it. After you win a team fight, you want to look to take an objective like a tower, dragon, or even baron. If you've unfortunately lost the team fight and you're still alive, then try to stop the enemy from taking objectives, and if you can, find a solo kill. Now we're going to look at 3 of your hardest AD carry matchups, and first of course is Caitlyn. She's going to be hard for you because she of course outranges you, and she does have strong poke with her Piltover Peacemaker. Watch the animation of her poke and make sure you dodge it, it does hit pretty damn hard. You'll also want to be very careful of her Yordle Snap Trap because they do reveal you, and you may need to avoid the bushes because there's probably going to be traps in there. Misfortune is then also hard because she will out-trade you with her auto attack, double up, auto attack combo. Avoid her bounce double up at all costs. The damage on a bounce shot is pretty ridiculous. It can hit you for like maybe 40% of your health. If you can get ahead, she's really easy to deal with because she doesn't have an escape, so use your ambush if you're ahead and then delete her. Now Draven is hard because both Twitch and Draven do a lot of damage, and one early kill can snowball out of control in either direction. Try and drop your Venom Cask. When he goes for an axe, it's pretty easy to land because of course he has to pick it up, and then you want to follow with an auto attack and a contamination. Alright, let's finish this off with our item build. Like all AD carries out there, you're going to want to start with a Doran's Blade, Health Potion, and a Warding Totem. For your core items, we have the Runaan's Hurricane, Infinity Edge, and Berserker Greaves. This will give you a lot of attack speed off the bat, which works great with your passive and your fervor of battle, but also the crit that goes well with your ultimate and just the fact that you are an AD carry. You'll next want to pick up either a Static Shiv, Phantom Dancer, or Blade of the Ruined King. I prefer going for either a Static Shiv or a Phantom Dancer here because I do like a very high crit build, but if there is a very tanky team, then I will go for Blade of the Ruined King instead. Of course, if you plan on dueling more often, then it's also great in that situation. So, once you've picked one of those, you want to move on to the item pool. If you need some armor penetration, which is almost always the case, you do have the LDR and the Mortal Reminder. Usually you want to go for the LDR, but if you do need Grievous Wounds, then you gotta get that Mortal Reminder. Next we have Bloodthirster. It's a great way to have a shield making us a little bit tankier, yet having some really solid lifesteal and bonus attack damage. Maw is then a fantastic item if there is some high AP assassins, and we do want to try to survive through that burst. If we're against a high CC team, then Mercurial Scimitar is a great way so we can take off one of those CCs. It also gives us some lifesteal, which makes it a really solid item. Guardian Angel, like always, is a fantastic late game item. It does give you some magic resist and armor, but also the fact that you can come back to life in that later stage of the game is pretty damn strong. Edge of Night is pretty damn solid on Twitch as well because you can get the spell shield before you start ultimating, and if any CCs hit you, it will get negated. For our normal crit build, we take our core, we pick the Static Shiv, and then we get the Bloodthirster and the LDR. This is my go-to build as it does a massive amount of damage, but we do lack a defensive. For our Blade of the Ruined King build, we of course take our core, add that Blade of the Ruined King, no shit, and then get an LDR and a Guardian Angel. Still some really solid damage, yet we are a little bit more forgiving, I suppose, with that Guardian Angel. Still, just don't die though. Well, that concludes our AD Carry Twitch guide for Preseason 7. Don't forget to check out my social medias in the video description below if you do want to find more of my content. Like always, if you guys did enjoy the video, please thumb it up, and if you are new here or you really enjoyed it, please subscribe. But other than that, thank you guys a ton for watching, and I will see you guys in the next champion guide. Peace!
Let me show you